Hi, I'm Sven and I'm standing here at GOTO Berlin with Gernot Starke. Gernot, who are you and what are you doing for a living?
Hello Sven, thanks for having me here at GOTO. I'm an innoQ fellow. I'm working as a consultant for software architecture, consultant and coach. So if companies have any problems with their architecture of their systems, I sometimes come and help them.
Okay, today at GOTO you spoke about systematic improvement of software. So I wonder, what is unsystematic improvement of software?
What is unsystematic improvement? I've seen unsystematic improvement in teams when there is a wild mixture of everybody doing work here and there, and they all hope they are doing something productive and positive, but in the end no real improvement can be seen.
Do you have a concrete example?
Yes, a client we have, one of our mutual clients, gave the developers about 10-15% of time for refactoring, but without planning this. And they achieved very high code quality in certain parts of their architecture, but didn't solve any real problems. So the performance problems weren't tackled, and that was very unsystematic, because everybody did a local scope optimization without having the overall big picture in mind.
In my experience, it happens often that people just grab some sonar warnings and fix them without actually thinking about, okay.
Exactly that. And they often grab the warnings they find most interesting, and not those that have the most positive effect on the system.
Okay, so now the question is, what is systematic improvement? What should I do? How should I improve my system?
I read about the term value-based improvement. So we all should think about the value we create when we modify or transform or improve the system. So if we manage to identify some positive business impact for any modification, then that's a positive thing. Then we should do that. So systematic improvement is improvement based around the notion of value, of business value, of lowering cost or improving productivity and such things.
Okay, that sounds like something easy to sell to management compared to this class is too big, our system is terrible. Is that right?
That's exactly right. That's my motivation why I want to do that, because the managers are the guys who have the money. And they need to allow us developers to spend the money in a positive way. So I need to convince the managers in their language, in their business terminology. So if I convince somebody, hey, you can save €1,000 per week when I can perform this improvement, that's a good argument. If I tell the manager, hey, I can reduce the coupling, they won't understand what I mean. And they won't give it any positive meaning.
How do you estimate the value or the cost of an improvement?
I estimate the cost of the problem, the cost of the issue. So for example, if something is running slow or if something is breaking down from time to time, I try to estimate the cost of this problem. So what business are you losing? How much developer time are you wasting if this problem persists? And only then I think about any measure, any improvement, getting rid of this problem. And I'm a friend of having at least 2 improvement options for every problem, because there is no one-to-one relationship between problem and improvement. It's an M-to-N relationship. You have always a second or a third option. What can we do?
So probably one option is do nothing.
Yes.
Because the cost is higher than the value.
That is a thing I try to teach development teams. Ignore the low code quality in this or that specific module because you're never touching it again, or it's very rarely modified, so it's actually of no business use to do clean code improvements on this thing.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it's always, you want to improve it, but...
Yes, do it in your spare time, do it over the weekend if you want, but better leave it alone, ignore the problem and fix the real ones. do we need some kind of measurement for our success if the improvement is really working out? Yes, we do. So the business guys call that KPIs. So we need some performance indicators if an improvement is really working out in a positive way we expect. That's why I love iterative improvement, because in iterations I can always look back and discuss with the team, did it work out? We don't need these metrics in a very, very exact way. So a rough estimation, are we getting better, is often enough.
Okay, so
because it's giving an indicator if the improvement is going into the right direction.
Okay, so an indication or a hallmark, something like that is enough.
It's basically fine. It's better to have nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
And I have great experience. I had great experiences in explicitly asking developers about the effect of an improvement. So if they are asked, did it work out? Did you spend less time fixing bugs this week? They can give you an estimate, and that's very often working out. A few years ago, we founded this architecture improvement method open source project. That's basically a huge collection of patterns and best practices around this improvement, transition, modernization domain.
Okay, thank you very much for the interview.